two of the things that I see guys doing when they sharpen their hoof knives that are making more work for themselves and making their knives not last as long. The first is that on most knives, when they're new, the back side of the knife is smooth. It's smooth and it's flat. And that's one of the critical things to having any sharp edge, is having a smooth, flat surface. So what happens is guys will come in and start to buff or grind the back side of this edge, and they get this rounded angle to the back side of their blade, so it's no longer straight across here, it actually folds down. And what happens when you do that is that when you, in order for that knife, for that edge to catch, you have to cock your wrist in order to get that blade to touch hoof. If it was just sitting here flat, it would be in air. So you physically with your wrist have to cock it in order for it to start to grab. Now if you leave it flat, that blade can fit flat on the ground or flat on the hoof, and it will catch along that whole way flat. The other thing that I see guys do is that this knife was sharpened with the belt sander, and you can tell because when you sharpen with a belt sander, there's a point when you're going up to the sander, when you first touch off on the belt and before you push, that time stops and your knife is there for a count or two, and they always eat right into this corner a lot deeper than you really want to do. I don't really like sharpening with a belt sander in general, but that's one common problem that you'll find, and so they'll actually take more steel off right here than they will the rest of the knife, and so it will cause a weak spot, which this is a pretty high stress area in any hoof knife. So those two things, the sharpening with a belt sander and making a back bevel on your knife, are two things important to avoid.